Hello everyone, my topic today is talk about the story of Royal Bank of Scotland. And according to the Global Finance, in November 2010, the Royal Bank of Scotland was the second biggest bank in the world. As you know, Royal Bank of Scotland was founded in 1727 in Edinburgh, in UK, and how RBS from a small local bank developed into a second biggest bank in the world was the strategy and what's the challenges. My presentation today will focus on the strategy and the challenges, and I will give my recommendation. The Royal Bank of Scotland have nearly 300 years experience in the banking services and businesses, and the Royal Bank of Scotland have three kind of development strategy. First is the innovation, and Royal Bank of Scotland focus on the business innovation, and they focus on the needs of customers. So, for example, they they introduced motor insurance and online telephone business and online services for customer in 1980s, and Royal Bank was the first bank which realized the computerization in the British market, and the innovation brings the innovation strengthen the competition of RBS, and they in 90 they launched 415 post machines into their branches, which brought RBS nearly £2 billion deposit, and they launched the application of, and they launched new services for the iPhone user. The iPhone user can applicate the business through iPhone online, and these new business brought 300% new registrations to RBS. And the second strategy of RBS is the acquisition. RBS did the first acquisition in 1924, and through all kinds of acquisition, RBS do the expansion and covers more markets. The most successful acquisition was happened in 2000. RBS offered £21 billion to acquire the National Westminster Bank, and this is a successful acquisition and is the turning point for RBS. RBS inherited the reputation of National Westminster Bank, and is more than 200 branches in the UK. And after this acquisition, RBS has ranked within 200 and the number 200 in the world banks, and then RBS did other acquisition to its expansion. The most important one is happened in 2007. RBS offered an unconditioned deal of £48 billion to acquire the adult bank, the ABN AMRO. This acquisition is debatable. Some people and some employee in the former employee in RBN said RBS did its wrong decision because it brings a lot of losses to RBS, but for RBS it expanded the market and inherited more than 200 branches and business of the ABN, but the acquisition happened in the wrong time because the international financial situation is not support this acquisition. Because ironically, in 2008, just 1 year after the acquisition, RBS has to accept the bailout package from the UK government, or they cannot pass the difficult time in the financial crisis. It needs some more analysis of this acquisition, and now RBS has adjusted its strategy plan, and they focus on the sustainable development more than the growth. And the third strategy of RBS is build a strategic partnership with other banks. And for example, RBS built a strategic partnership with Bank of China in 2005. This partnership built a platform for the RBS further growth in the Asia Pacific area. And the challenges of RBS now is the markets, the customers, and the financial situation. Now the financials in the global finance is in the recovering period, and customers have power to buy business, but they have power of making decision, and lots of banks did offer similar business as RBS. How can RBS compete with other banks? And now RBS just heavily rely on the local market, the UK market I mean, and how to do more development in the global market is another challenge. My recommendation for RBS has 3 points. The first is, I think the restructuring strategy for RBS now is the right decision, and it's not because it's not a suitable time for growth, but it is very important to maintain the existing customers and make the development sustainable. And for RBS, I think the second one is to improve the efficiency of the organization. And the first restructuring is has contributed to improve the efficiency, but RBS need to strengthen the risk division and need to strengthen the monetary management, which can avoid the unnecessary negative impact of RBS, and both in the reputation and the profit part. And the third one, my recommendation for RBS is strengthen the partnership with Bank of China, because the economic of Asia is growing, and especially China has more growth rate every year. The growth rate of China is increasing every year, and Bank of China has covered every part of China, and they have branches in Asia, and I think if RBS strengthened the partnership with Bank of China, they can get more profit. And by now, RBS has built 25, at least 25 branches in the Asian market. And I think with the partnership with Bank of China, they can build more branches and get more markets. And finally, I think the slogan of RBS, "Make it happen," is very good, and it can make confident of RBS itself, and can make their customer feel confident of RBS, and RBS can make more, can get more